So let's talk about Madeline from 1998, based on the popular children's book series. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Bonjour and greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1998 family comedy Madeline, released by TriStar, directed by Daisy Von Schuyler-Mayer, starring Hatty Jones in the title role, along with Frances McDormand as Miss Clavel and Nigel Hawthorne as Lord Covington, also known as Lord Cuckoo Face. Now, this film encompasses the plots of 4 different Madeline books. So, I'm trying to look here. Well, I don't know what books they were, but I have actually have read one Madeline book, but it's been a long time ago. But anyway, you probably should know your stories and what have you. Anyway, now, of course, the story starts out like any of those Madeline books, or even the cartoon series that came out, years before this. This was from 1998. Of course, we start out in Paris, France, in the old house in Paris, of course, that was covered in vines, lived 12 little girls, and in 2 straight lines, leaving the house at 9:30 in rain or shine. And of course, the smallest one was Madeline. Anyway, the film takes place in Paris in 1956. A young girl named Madeline attends a Catholic boarding school, taught by the strict but loving nun Miss Clavel, and fed by the passionate French chef Helene. Well, Madeline's an orphan, coming from neither family nor money, but maintains a positive attitude and is best friends with another girl named Aggie. Now, one night Madeline is stricken with appendicitis and is taken to the hospital, where she undergoes an appendectomy. Sorry, it's hard for me to say words like that. My apologies. During her stay there, Madeline meets Lady Covington, the terminally ill wife of the school's Board of Trustees member, Lord Covington. Unlike her husband, Lady Covington cares deeply for the school and the girls, having attended the school herself in her youth. And she asked one favor of Madeline. She carved her birth name, Marie Gilbert, into one of the dorm's bed frames, and she would like for Madeline to find out if her name is still there. Unfortunately, a few days later, when Madeline is ready to leave the hospital, she learns that from Miss Clavel that Lady Covington has died. But true to her promise, Madeline searches for her name under the beds, finding it under her own. Now, after her hospital stay, Madeline finds that the Spanish ambassador has purchased the property next door to the school, and that he also has a son who is around Madeline's age, and that would be Pepito. While the other girls are smitten with Pepito, Madeline, unfortunately, is irritated by the noise created by the boy riding around on his Vespa. That was kind of like a motor scooter. Anyway, shortly after the ambassador's arrival, Lord Covington announces he plans on closing the school due to the death of his wife. Miss Clavel, unnerved by Pepito's bothering her girls, attempts to make peace with the boy by giving his tutor Leopold a toolbox for him, in hopes that it will distract him from his obnoxious ways. Yes, apparently, if you've maybe read the books or seen the cartoon series, Pepito was, a mischievous little boy, and he wears a hat most of the time. They called him a bad hat. But the same thing later happened when I believe three of his cousins came. They were much more badder than he was, even once Pepito made peace and stuff like that and became close friends with Madeline. But of course, that was in the cartoon, though. Okay, now where was I? Oh, yes. However, her actions, well, Miss Clavel's actions are unsuccessful as Pepito steals Madeline's drawing pad and writes "Beware" with a vicious drawing in it before inviting the girls to his birthday party. During the party, Pepito unnerves his guests, except for Madeline, by showing them a mouse and joking about killing it, either by feeding him to a snake or executing him using a guillotine he made using the toolbox he'd received as a gift from Miss Clavel. Madeline, angered by Pepito's threats to harm the innocent anti-animal, brutally attacks him and releases all of his mice, causing the guests to flee in horror and Miss Clavel to faint, which results in the girls' visit getting cut short, much to Pepito's amusement. On the way back to the school, Madeline takes Pepito's Vespa keys in an act of revenge. While out on a daily walk, Madeline really shows the girls what she'd do to Pepito and accidentally falls into the Seine while, while standing on the ledge of a bridge going over the river. But she is rescued by a stray dog whom she names Genevieve and emerges from the ordeal relatively unscathed, save for a cold, that is. While sick in bed, Madeline is displeased to watch Leopold teach Pepito, frustrated over the loss of his keys, how to his scooter with a paperclip. However, her anger disperses when she discovers that Genevieve has followed her to the school and sorry, I'm getting tongue tied again. My bad. And convinces Miss Clavel, who unfortunately has dog allergies, to let her golden-haired savior live in the shed. Wanting to save the school, Madeline forms an alliance with Pepito, enlisting his help to sabotage Lord Covington's attempts to sell the property. But her efforts are ultimately discovered by Lord Covington, who initially blames Miss Clavel. Madeline takes responsibility for her involvement, though Lord Covington is unmoved by her apology or the motivation behind her actions when she makes a Freudian slip and calls him Cuckoo Face. And after leaving, he turns Genevieve loose into the night in an act of retaliation against her and the girls. Oh dear. Now, to the last act and ending, you got 5 seconds to stop this video. If you've not seen the movie. If you have, you may proceed with this review after the 5 seconds. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. Okay? Thank you. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Upset over the loss of Genevieve, Miss Clavel takes the girls to a circus in hopes of cheering them up, and Madeline, fearing she'll have no place to go as an orphan once the school closes, makes the decision to join the circus. Hoping to make friends and find a new home within the community there, after telling Aggie of her plans and making her swear not to tell, Madeline leaves the group and unintentionally stumbles upon Leopold with the help of a trio of clowns known as the Idiots. He eventually kidnaps Pepito, hoping to hold him for ransom, and while trying to intervene, is abducted as well. Luckily, Leopold and the Idiots leave the two children alone with a motorcycle, which Madeline uses her hair clip to start and convinces Pepito to drive, though he is initially reluctant as he drives a Vespa. The two are pursued by Leopold and the Idiots, but Miss Clavel, having learned of Madeline's running away from Aggie, goes driving in search of her, finding and picking up Genevieve along the way, and narrowly avoiding a collision with the two children on the bike, is able to cause the Idiots to crash into a lake. The police arrive and arrest him, while Miss Clavel, Madeline, Pepito, and Genevieve head back to the school. At the school, Lord Covington arrives and happily shares that he sold the property to the ambassador of Uzbekistan. Madeline realizes that Lord Covington is merely trying to sell the school. He at first dismisses her sympathy, but Madeline speaks earnestly to Lord Covington about her own family being gone, and says that Lady Covington is still with him, and with the school, and Miss Clavel, knowing Madeline is fearful of having no one if the school were to shut down, assures her that they'll be together. Regardless of what happens, while Lord Covington is moved by Madeline's words and sincerity, he regretfully tells her and the girls that there's nothing he can do, as he's already sold the property. But in a happy twist, the ambassador, also moved by Madeline, decides to back out of the sale. The film then concludes with a montage accompanied by Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World, and changes back to a book saying, just like the actual Madeline books, as the word Finn appears. And that's all there is. There isn't any more. Just thought I'd throw that in since that's not mentioned in the movie. So, what did I think of Madeline? Well, I'm going to say it's a very cute movie. I've seen it a few times. I've seen it a few years back. I first caught it on Showtime, and might have caught it on TV a few times. It was maybe last year I watched it on the Movieplex, and I just more recently saw it on Prime, but unfortunately that movie's no longer going to be on Prime after next week. So, absolutely loved it. Madeline, I mean, this was yet another book adaptation TriStar gave us since they had recently given us Jumanji and Matilda. But anyway, nevertheless, I find this to be very good, and I love the performances from everyone. Hatty Jones, who plays Madeline, was exceptionally very good. I also love the performances from all the other their children, and as our grown-ups, most notably Frances McDormand as Miss Clavel. Who that's speaking of that character. I also know that I think 3 times, I think 3 or 4 times in the movie, she always says her famous phrase when if something's occurring, she's like, something is not right. Yeah, just like in the books and the cartoon. That's another thing that I liked in this. But that usually mostly happens in the middle of the night. Still, I have to say, everyone's absolutely really good in this. Let's see, and we have score by Michel Legrand. It was really good. Oh yeah, and you also get there a great song called Two Straight Lines, done by the legendary folk singer. Well, I think she's sort of a folk singer, but I might be wrong. But she's also a pop star. Was a pop star too long ago. Carly Simon. But anywho, I think Madeline is absolutely real good. The story's real good. The cast is really good. I loved it. So the question is, would I recommend Madeline? Yes. You need to see Madeline. This is definitely a very good movie. If you've read the books or if you've seen the cartoon series, and then I'd say give it a go for. And if you have seen it, I'd like to know what you thought about it. So tell me what your thoughts are on Madeline in the comment section below. Like this video by clicking the like button below, subscribe to my channel as well, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you another 2-part ranking, and this time it'll be on my favorite songs from the band Van Halen. As I decide to continue mourning the loss of Eddie Van Halen, whom we sadly lost last month. So anyway, thank you for watching my review of Madeline, and if you like this, see these other videos. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of another great book-based movie, Paddington, which your families can enjoy. You can also check out my review of the sequel as well. In the upper right-hand corner is my review of another little redheaded girl, and that being Annie, which I did not so long ago. Or if you want something more fun and mischievous, Go to the bottom left hand corner for my review of the new adventures of Pibby Longstocking that I did this past summer, which has already got more views than any other movie review I have done to date. In the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.